Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Chapter 4. The Rabbit Sends in a Little Bill. It was the White Rabbit. It was walking slowly back and looking around nervously, as if it had lost something. Alice heard it saying to itself,
"The Duchess! The Duchess! Oh, my dear paws! Oh, my fur and whiskers! She'll have me killed as sure as ferrets are ferrets! Where can I have dropped them, I wonder?"
Alice quickly guessed that it was looking for the fan and the pair of white gloves. She kindly began to look for them too, but they were nowhere to be found. Everything seemed different after her swim in the pool, and the big hall with the glass table and the little door had completely disappeared. Very soon the rabbit saw Alice as she was searching and called to her angrily.
"Why, Marianne, what are you doing here? Run home at once and bring me a pair of gloves and a fan. Quick now!"
Alice was so frightened that she ran off at once in the direction it pointed, without trying to explain the mistake. "He thought I was his housemaid," she said to herself as she ran. "How surprised he will be when he finds out who I am. But I'd better bring him his fan and gloves, that is, if I can find them." As she said this, she came to a small, neat house. On the door there was a bright brass plate with the name W. Rabbit on it. She went inside without knocking and ran upstairs, very afraid that she might meet the real Marianne and be sent out before she found the fan and gloves. "How strange it seems," Alice said to herself, "to be doing jobs for a rabbit. Maybe Dinah will start sending me on jobs next." Then she imagined what could happen. "Miss Alice, come here at once and get ready for your walk." "I'm coming in a minute, nurse, but I must make sure the mouse doesn't get out." "But I don't think," Alice continued, "that they would let Dinah stay in the house if it started telling people what to do like that." By this time she had gone into a small, tidy room with a table by the window. On the table, just as she had hoped, there was a fan and 2 or 3 pairs of small white gloves. She took the fan and 1 pair of gloves and was just about to leave the room when she saw a small bottle near the mirror. This time there was no label with the words, "Drink me," but she opened it and put it to her lips. "I know something interesting will happen," she said to herself, "whenever I eat or drink anything. So I will see what this bottle does. I do hope it will make me grow big again, because I am really tired of being so small." And it did. It happened much sooner than she expected. Before she had drunk half the bottle, her head touched the ceiling, and she had to bend down to stop her neck from being hurt. She quickly put the bottle down and said to herself, "That's enough. I hope I won't grow any more. As it is, I can't get out of the door. I wish I hadn't drunk so much." Alas, it was too late to wish that. She kept growing, and very soon she had to kneel on the floor. In another minute there was not even space for that, and she tried lying down with 1 elbow against the door and the other arm around her head. Still she kept growing, and as a last thing she put 1 arm out of the window and 1 foot up the chimney, and said to herself, "Now I can do no more, whatever happens. What will become of me?" Luckily for Alice, the little magic bottle had now finished its effect, and she did not grow any larger. Still, it was very uncomfortable, and as there seemed to be no chance at all of getting out of the room again, it is no surprise that she felt unhappy. It was much nicer at home, thought poor Alice, when one was not always growing bigger and smaller, and being told what to do by mice and rabbits. I almost wish I had not gone down that rabbit hole. And yet it is quite strange, you know, this kind of life. I really wonder what can have happened to me. When I used to read fairy tales, I thought things like this never happened, and now here I am in the middle of one. There should be a book written about me, there really should. And when I grow up, I will write one. But I am grown up now, she added sadly. At least there is no room to grow up any more here. But then, thought Alice, Will I never get any older than I am now? That would be nice in one way, never to be an old woman. But then, always to have lessons to learn? Oh, I would not like that. Oh, you silly Alice, she answered herself. How can you learn lessons here? There is hardly space for you, and no space at all for any lesson books. And so she went on, first taking one side and then the other, and making a full conversation by herself. But after a few minutes, she heard a voice outside and stopped to listen. "Marianne! Marianne!" said the voice. "Bring me my gloves at once!" Then she heard quick little steps on the stairs. Alice knew it was the rabbit coming to look for her, and she trembled so much that she shook the house, forgetting that she was now about 1,000 times bigger than the rabbit and had no reason to be afraid of it. Soon the rabbit came to the door and tried to open it, but the door opened inwards, and Alice's elbow was pressed strongly against it, so it could not open. Alice heard it say to itself, "Then I will go around and get in through the window." "That you will not," thought Alice. And after waiting until she thought the rabbit was just under the window, she suddenly stretched out her hand and tried to catch it. She did not catch anything, but she heard a small cry and something falling, and the sound of breaking glass. From this, she thought it might have fallen into a cucumber frame or something like that. Next, she heard an angry voice, the rabbit's. "Pat! Pat! Where are you?" And then a voice she had never heard before. "Yes, I'm here. Digging for apples, Your Honor." "Digging for apples indeed," said the rabbit angrily. "Here, come and help me out of this." Sounds of more broken glass. "Now tell me, Pat, what is that in the window?" "Sure, it is an arm, Your Honor." He said it as arum. "An arm, you fool! Who ever saw one that size? It fills the whole window." "Yes, it does, Your Honor, but it is still an arm." "Well, it should not be there anyway. Go and take it away." There was a long silence after this, and Alice could only hear quiet voices from time to time, such as, "Sure, I don't like it, Your Honor, not at all." "Do as I tell you, you coward." At last, she stretched out her hand again and tried to catch something in the air. This time there were two little cries and more sounds of broken glass. "There must be a lot of cucumber frames," thought Alice. "I wonder what they will do next. As for pulling me out of the window, I only wish they could. I am sure I don't want to stay here any longer." She waited for some time and heard nothing more. At last she heard the sound of small cartwheels and many voices talking together. She could understand some of the words. "Where is the other ladder?" "Why, I only had to bring one. Bill has the other." "Bill, bring it here, boy." "Here, put them up at this corner." "No, tie them together first. They do not reach high enough yet." "Oh, they will do well enough, do not worry." "Here, Bill, hold this rope." "Will the roof hold?" "Watch that loose stone." "Oh, it is falling. Heads down." A loud crash. "Now who did that?" "I think it was Bill." "Who will go down the chimney?" "No, I won't. You do it." "I won't either." "Bill will go down." "Here, Bill, the master says you must go down the chimney." "Oh, so Bill has to come down the chimney, does he?" said Alice to herself. "They seem to put everything on Bill. I would not want to be in Bill's place. This fireplace is narrow, but I think I can kick a little." She pulled her foot as far down the chimney as she could, and waited until she heard a small animal, she could not guess what kind it was, scratching and moving in the chimney just above her. Then she said to herself, "This is Bill," and gave one strong kick and waited to see what would happen next. The first thing she heard was many voices all shouting, "There goes Bill!" Then she heard the rabbit's voice, "Catch him, you by the hedge!" Then there was silence, and then many voices again. "Hold up his head, give him some drink, don't choke him. What happened, old friend?
What happened to you? Tell us everything."
Last came a weak, squeaky voice.
"That is Bill," thought Alice. "Well, I don't really know. No more, thank you. I feel better now. But I am too confused to tell you. I only know that something hit me like a jack-in-the-box, and I flew up like a rocket."
"So you did, old friend," said the others.
"We must burn the house down," said the rabbit's voice.
And Alice shouted as loud as she could,
"If you do, I will set Dinah on you."
There was complete silence at once, and Alice thought to herself, "I wonder what they will do next. If they had any sense, they would take the roof off." After a minute or two, they started moving again, and Alice heard the rabbit say, "A wheelbarrow full will be enough to start with." A wheelbarrow full of what? thought Alice. But she did not have to wonder long, because the next moment a shower of small stones came through the window, and some of them hit her in the face. "I will stop this," she said to herself, and shouted, "You had better not do that again." This caused another silence. Alice noticed with some surprise that the stones were turning into small cakes as they lay on the floor, and she had a clever idea. "If I eat one of these cakes," she thought, "it will surely change my size in some way, and since it cannot make me bigger, it must make me smaller, I think." So she ate one of the cakes and was happy to see that she began to shrink at once. As soon as she was small enough to go through the door, she ran out of the house and saw a group of small animals and birds waiting outside. Poor little Bill the lizard was in the middle, held up by 2 guinea pigs who were giving him something from a bottle. They all ran towards Alice as soon as she appeared, but she ran away as fast as she could, and soon she was safe in a thick forest. "The first thing I must do," said Alice to herself as she walked through the forest, "is to grow to my right size again. And the second thing is to find my way into that beautiful garden. I think that is the best plan." It sounded like a very good plan, and simple too. The only problem was that she had no idea how to do it. While she was looking carefully among the trees, a small, sharp bark just above her head made her look up quickly. A very large puppy was looking down at her with big, round eyes and gently stretching out one paw, trying to touch her. "Poor little thing," said Alice in a kind voice, and she tried hard to whistle to it. But she was very afraid all the time, thinking that it might be hungry, and then it would probably eat her, even though she was trying to be friendly. Without really knowing what she was doing, she picked up a small stick and held it out to the puppy. The puppy jumped into the air with all its feet at once, making a happy sound, and rushed at the stick, pretending to attack it. Then Alice quickly moved behind a big thistle to avoid being knocked over. As soon as she came out on the other side, the puppy rushed at the stick again and fell over in its hurry to catch it. Then Alice thought it was like playing with a big horse, and she expected every moment to be stepped on, so she ran around the thistle again. Then the puppy began to make many short runs at the stick, going a little forward each time and a long way back, barking in a rough voice all the time. At last it sat down far away, breathing heavily, with its tongue hanging out and its big eyes half closed. This seemed like a good chance for Alice to escape, so she ran away at once. She ran until she was very tired and out of breath, and until the sound of the puppy's bark became very quiet in the distance. "And yet what a lovely little puppy it was," said Alice, as she leaned against a buttercup to rest and fanned herself with one of its leaves. "I would have liked to teach it tricks very much if only I had been the right size to do it. Oh dear, I almost forgot that I must grow bigger again. Let me see, how can I do it? I think I must eat or drink something, but the big question is, what?" The big question really was, what? Alice looked all around at the flowers and the grass, but she did not see anything that looked right to eat or drink in this situation. There was a big mushroom growing near her, about the same height as she was. After she looked under it, and on both sides, and behind it, she thought she might as well look at the top of it. She stood on her toes and looked over the edge of the mushroom, and at once she saw a large blue caterpillar. It was sitting on the top with its arms folded, quietly smoking a long hookah, and not paying any attention to her or to anything else.